everyone, let's talk about access to bank accounts, be that by the owner, by someone else, or what happens to that account upon death of the owner. And we'll talk about who has access during the lifetime of a person, during the incapacity of that person, or again upon death. So let's start with, you have an owner, a bank owner, all of us have bank accounts, and then let's see who has access to, let's say, my bank account. Well, to my bank account, the following person will have access. Any joint owners. Do I have a joint owner on my bank account? My spouse, a child, a cousin, whomever. A joint owner is a co-owner of that bank account. They have access because they are co-owners. Again, during my lifetime, I'm well. Who else has access? If I have a power of attorney, then that power of attorney, if the power of attorney is effective immediately, meaning that I don't have to be incapacitated for that person to use it, then that person in theory has access to my bank account as well. And then you can also have a signer. I'm well, I can add a signer to my bank account. My son can access this bank account. How do I do that? I go to the bank and I say, I want to add my son as a signer, meaning that he can access the bank account at any time. He can just take all the money out without any restrictions. So let's talk very briefly about the difference between joint owner and signer powers. Joint owner, that person co-owns it with you. They, in theory, own part of that money, or half, or maybe all, it depends. And the signer means that they don't own it, but they still have access to it. Again, that's something to be taken very seriously. Both options, they come with consequences, so make sure that's what you're trying to do. Now, let's talk about during incapacity. So let's say I'm in a car accident and someone needs to access my bank account to pay my bills. So again, we have the joint owner. If someone else is on the bank account, let's say my spouse, then of course they can access the bank account as a joint owner. The signer can also access my bank account if I'm incapacitated. The power of attorney can access the bank account if that allows for, if the power of attorney allows for that, which most of them do, if not all. And if I don't have a power of attorney, I don't have a signer, I don't have a joint owner on that bank account, someone will have to file for guardianship, go in front of a judge and say, hey judge, this is what happened to Mona, here's the medical records, appoint me as the guardian. There's a whole process there, a lot more than what I'm just saying. And then if everything goes well, the judge will appoint that person, and then that person as a guardian can take those documents from the court to the bank and have access to that bank account. Again, of course, that's expensive. You have no control over who applies for guardianship. So ideally, you have a power of attorney in place. You can add a signer if you trust them, because they can access that bank account without you being present. And joint tenancy works as well. Just be very careful when you add someone to co-own your assets. Finally, what happens upon death? If you have a joint owner, usually when one owner dies, the other one gets the money, so that's easy. If it's a single account, it's just you on the account, ideally you have a payable on death designation. You have a POD, a beneficiary. How do you do that? You go to the bank. I want my daughter to get this money if I die, and then your daughter will go get that money when you die with your death certificate. Upon death, if a bank account is substantial and there's no beneficiary, your family may have to file for probate, go through the courts in order to access that bank account. Again, we don't want that, so just have something have a beneficiary, or have maybe a trust, have something else done to avoid going through courts. I hope this video helped. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. There is a link below, and email me if you have any questions. I would love to cover your topics during future videos. Thank you.